The new Mortal Kombat update is here. The low tiers got buffed a lot, making them actually good characters now. Some of them might even be fantastic. Also, the uppercut combos do more damage, and cameos got nerfed. Finally, hitting them actually does damage. So if your opponent spams cameos, bop, give them a good old bop, they take good damage now. With all that said, here's the bad news. We only got a balance patch. Yep, this update had no new features or game modes, none of that stuff.
You promised new game modes!
Ah! Hold on now.
Where's the tag team mode? Custom character slots.
Everybody stop! I never said any of that was guaranteed. If I was in charge, we would have got all that, but I'm not. So the most I can do is dream, and that's what that video was, okay? Things we wanted in the update, and also things that could happen, but instead we got the balance patch, and there's still a lot of stuff here, honestly. It's not gonna change your life, but it's pretty cool. Alright everyone, I wanted to start with the biggest changes first instead of just reading the patch notes in order, because honestly many of these changes aren't a big deal for certain characters, so I'll save them for last. But Raiden, by the elder gods, did he get buffed. He does more damage, his mix-ups are faster, his frame data is better, man, it's just great. So let's go over his changes. First up is Razzle Dazzle. This move is faster at 8 frames. If your charge is all the way up, it's 7 frames. Or in other words, it can punish a down 1 even on block. Yeah, which is nuts, because when you land this move, you're at plus 24, which means you can dash up and just do this, and the opponent has to block. If they press any buttons, they lose. And once they know that and start blocking, you hit them with the mix-ups, the overhead, the low that leads to a full combo, the throw that's a full combo in the corner every time. And yeah, you get the idea. Whenever you punish with this move, you're so plus that you can force all of those situations on the opponent. It's awesome. Not to mention, this move's also really easy to combo after now because it's so plus on hit. And you could already combo after it, but now it just feels easier and it does more damage too. Razzle Dazzle is just nuts. But next up, watch this. Even if the opponent blocks, all that knockback and it's -5. That is crazy, man. This move on hit guarantees a mix-up. On block, you're 100% safe. But only with the charge, that's important. But this charge happens a lot now because it builds up over time instead of decreasing over time. So yeah, Raiden's gonna be charged a lot. Oh, also a new combo. So this string right here cancels into Razzle Dazzle, and if you dash forward, you get a full combo. It's actually not that difficult. So yeah, Raiden just does more damage now. And then in the corner, you get even more damage, and it's easier to do because you don't gotta dash anymore. But then finally, Enhanced Razzle Dazzle does more damage and is easier to combo after with cameos. Regular Sector can combo, but then Enhanced Sector is even better and does more damage. Yeah, I'm talking 40% damage casually, with certain cameos 43% damage casually. So yeah, Raiden's a damage king once again. So yeah, Razzle Dazzle is much better, but also his overhead does more damage, so that's nice. You can combo after it with Sector and timed correctly, but even without that, it's still good damage. Oh yeah, this string is now +1 on block, so block Reptile. Look at that, +1. It's your turn now. You can force it down 1 or something. Next up is Tanya, and man, she got some massive buffs. She does more damage, has better frame data, new combo starters, and perhaps best of all, this lasts forever now. That's right, it only goes away if you use it, whereas before it had a timer. So yeah, let's go over all of her changes. First up is Heavenly Hand. This move just does more damage now, 70. The enhanced version is doing 110. If you have guidance, they both do more damage. Check it out. Boom, that does 100, and then the EX version does 140. That is stupid damage. 14% for a single fireball is wild. But then we have Boomerang Away. So this move outside of combos has a bigger hitbox, which means it's better for anti-airing or just hitting opponents who are in front of you. The hitbox is much better now. But guess what? The follow-ups got better too. This string right here now starts combos. It can be special canceled. Boom, check that out. If you want to spend a meter, you can keep going. Bada bing, bada boom. But next up is this Ender. So it's got a bigger hitbox now. It starts up faster and is better on block as well, with better recovery. Or in other words, this second hit where she slams the ground is just faster in every possible way. Finally, this move got buffed a lot. It recovers faster on hit and miss and is better on block, which means you can throw it out a lot more. Not right in the opponent's face, but further away, like around here, jumping distance or further, it's a lot better of a move. Okay, so from here on out, I'm gonna read the patch notes in order because these next changes are good, sometimes okay, and honestly most of them can be summarized quite quickly. First up is Ashura. She switches to light form and dark form faster, which is good. It's not going to combo or anything, but in neutral it's way less risky to switch back to light and dark. But then her curses last 50% longer. That's a big deal. It gives you more time to cash it out like this. Bam! And that's actually all she got, but as a result she can switch stances way more often, and when you curse the opponent it's easier to actually make good on those curses and get damage in your combos or just new starters, all that stuff. Next up is Baraka. His Desperate Tarkatan now builds meter 50% faster and his health drains half as quickly, so 50% slower, which means the reward is better and the risk is much lower. Though I agree with Honeybee, I don't think it should cost any health whatsoever. Just let him build meter. I think Baraka deserves it. But yeah, look at this meter gain. That is nuts. I bet you could do a long combo and before it's done spend 4, maybe 5 bars of meter in the same combo. Then we have Kenshi. So his Ancestral Guard cancel recovers 14 frames faster, which should mean the opponent can't see you sheath it and then punish on reaction. They're gonna have to guess. But then we have Enhanced Rising Karma. So this move has no gravity scaling, which means even at the end of a long combo, the opponent's not gonna drop right away. You're pretty much guaranteed that follow-up, which isn't a crazy big deal, but several characters have that update in this patch where they can end a long combo with an EX move and still get the follow-ups guaranteed. Kitana. So this move right here has 5 more frames of block stun. It's -4 on block, and also it recovers faster too. So even if you miss with it, the opponent can't punish you. When I first read that, I thought it meant there was no longer a flawless block gap, but no, there definitely still is. So I'm not sure why this change really matters too much. However, Unbreakable is an overhead now. Yeah, that final hit's a mix-up now, which means certain cameos like Frost and even Darius can mix up the opponent now between low and overhead. Or even if Kitana's by herself, she gains this move, right, which hits low, and that's now a mix-up too. You could do the third hit as an overhead or end with that low hitting move, and that's a mix-up. Check it out. Finally, last but not least, this move is now better on block, but the overhead can be up blocked, so not that big of a deal. Again, I'm wondering if NetherRealm just wants to encourage different cameo partners like Darius or Frost because they have low attacks. Then we have Li Mei, and if you glance at her patch notes, it seems like a lot of changes, but honestly, it's just larger hitboxes, which, don't get me wrong, that was the main complaint from Li Mei players. A lot of her moves would whiff on crouchers, even if they were blocking, and honestly, most of her moves just whiffed in general. Now that shouldn't be as big of an issue anymore because all of her attacks have had a tune-up. Even her sweep, her down 3 is better now. It's all just better. Next up is Liu Kang. His overhead is 12 frames now, so that's 5 frames faster and guaranteed impossible to react. You can't see this thing coming. But then we have Enhanced Dragon's Breath, which has no gravity scaling, which means at the end of a combo, you can just guarantee a finisher. Now, I'm not a Liu Kang main, so forgive me, but watch this for example. Notice how all of that comboed and the opponent didn't drop? Yeah, the gravity gets removed when you end with Dragon's Breath. That's crazy. Then we have Natara, and her Bloody Bolt got buffed. It's 5 frames faster on the regular and enhanced version. This move is really not worth the meter, but the enhanced version combos off many attacks, including her low. And if you do land that move, you can cancel into her flight, right? So that's kind of neat, but honestly, why spend a meter on that when you can do the enhanced fly instead? For Reptile, his Acid Spit is bigger. He's got some frame data changes, and that's it, so it's not really worth showing. Shang Tsung, however, got many changes, and it seems like a real big deal. However, most of them are transformation changes. So for example, his cameo copy is a lot better now. It's faster and does more damage with a lot of characters. So Kung Lao, for example, just does more damage now when you cameo steal, but also transforming into the opponent is faster, transforming back into Shang Tsung is faster as well, and you get the idea. A bulk of his changes are just transformation based. They're faster and do more damage. However, on top of all that, Snake Oil is now better on block. So let's see, it's -6, so no longer punishable. Now, if you're a Smoke fan, I've got bad news. He's 1 frame faster on 2 different attacks, which I don't think is a very big deal. Maybe this removes some flawless block gaps, but let me know in the comments. Now, for Sub-Zero, this second hit is now 1 frame faster. Does that mean the flawless block is removed, maybe? When I hear the sound effect, it appears like the flawless block is still there, but I imagine it would pop back up if there was still a gap, right? I'm not entirely sure. His back 3 now special cancels 1 frame faster, and you can do this, but was that always possible? I'm not sure. We know it doesn't combo into his ice ball because he's never gonna get that. Next up is Omni-Man, who got a few changes, but I'm not sure how big of a deal they are. His air clap is better now, with faster startup, faster recovery, and a bigger hitbox. Also, this move cancels 1 frame faster, so does that mean like this is a combo now? Was it ever not a combo? I'm not sure. The second hit of this string starts up 1 frame faster. Does that mean no more gaps? Maybe. His overhead is now 2 frames faster, so a bit harder to react to. That's always a plus. Then finally, this kick recovers 5 frames faster. Doesn't cancel 5 frames faster, just recovers 5 frames faster. So not sure what that means exactly. I definitely don't think it's for combos or anything. Even in the corner, you don't recover fast enough to do anything. Ermac got a couple good changes. The second hit of this string has a bigger hitbox, which means it shouldn't whiff, especially on block. Hell Splitter now recovers 18 frames faster, which means it's easier to combo after mid-screen, and especially in the corner. You can combo by yourself now, no cameo required. Then finally, Return to Earth recovers 3 frames faster, so again, easier combos. Next up is Peacemaker. Eagly is more common now with a faster cooldown, which is definitely a big deal. Nosebreaker and Peace Eater are 1 frame faster too, which hopefully means no more gaps. Then we have Homelander, who actually got some nerfs. Not sure what a big deal they are, but he got some nerfs. This move, both regular and enhanced, is way easier to punish now. However, its armor got much better. Instead of 23 frames, it has 60 frames of armor, which means even if you're way in the air, he's still gonna blow through your attacks. Vought Drop also got a bit of a nerf because the second hit does more damage, but the first hit does less. And that's a nerf because Omni-Man players loved using Farah to cancel after the first hit, and now that does less damage. Then finally, this move has worse range now. Not by a ton, but it is a bit worse. But next up is Cyrax, who got buffed unintentionally. So Capture Foam releases 10 frames sooner on hit, which actually makes her combos easier to time. So well done, NetherRealm. You buffed Cyrax when you meant to nerf her. Finally, we have Noob Saibot. Embrace Chaos lasts 14 seconds instead of 10, so that's 4 more seconds of better combos and just all around cooler stuff. Then Shadow Sweep and Enhanced Shadow Sweep have a better hitbox to be more consistent. If the opponent's really close, it still lands. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The cameos got some cooldown changes and some frame data alterations, but nothing too major. No new mix-ups or anything. Just some moves are faster or recover faster, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and also Striker and Farah take more damage when you hit them, which is good because they're very strong right now. Everyone is using these 2 cameos, so now if you hit them, they take more damage than normal. Alright everyone, that's it for the recent balance patch in Mortal Kombat 1. Tanya and Raiden got some really good buffs, and Homelander got nerfed, so that's good. But everyone else feels like a touch-up. They got slightly better, and that's good, but for a game-ending patch, this is not enough, so hopefully NetherRealm has at least one more planned. Thanks for watching everyone, and make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.